Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on the Simple Car Guy channel. Today I will show you how to replace, code, and register a new battery for your BMW E90 or E92. So basically any 3 Series BMW between 2006 and about 2013. It's not a very difficult process and you can definitely save about $400 by doing this yourself. I got this battery for $155. And I'll show you what it is exactly and what to look for when you're buying your own. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so what are we actually looking at? Of course, here on the right is the old battery that was installed in about 2017, so it's 5 years old at this time, which kind of is a typical range that you can expect these batteries to last. This is not a AGM battery, this is a standard lead acid battery, and it can do about 640 cold cranking amps at 0 Fahrenheit, and this is an 80 amp hour battery. Okay, so these are the two important numbers that you want to pay attention to. Now, as you can see, this is exactly the same size, but you can also get similar performance out of smaller sizes batteries or even bigger ones, so you want to make sure you get the correct size as well. But as you can see here on the new battery, we have 850 cold cranking amps, so it's about 200 more than on this one. That's already kind of a big deal. This also has the same 80 amp hours, so it has enough power. It's the same amount of power, except this one can actually produce more cold cranking amps. Pretty cool. And of course, it's exactly the same size. One item to really pay attention to here is the group size. So for this car, it's going to be the H7, but the 3 Series also came with H6, and I believe even some convertibles might have had an H8. So this is just the size and how wide or how long your battery is. Basically, I got this battery at Costco, Interstate Batteries. This one was only $155 and it has 3-year warranty. Of course, I'm not sponsored by Costco or anything like that, but I would recommend these batteries. So let's get this one out of here and put the new one in. And of course, one of the biggest differences between these two batteries and why you see 640 cold cranking amps here and 850 on this one is that this is a standard lead acid battery and this one is AGM. So this is the newer technology. It packs more punch and, well, a good upgrade for these power hungry cars. The first step is going to be removing this battery cover or the interior panel in the trunk. All you have to do is twist this and then simply pull it out just like that. Comes out pretty easy, and now you have access to your battery. All you're going to need is a 10mm socket like this, and we're just going to remove a bolt right there and another bolt right here. Now we're going to remove the negative terminal first on this side right here. You just want to loosen it just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. And then remove the actual terminal just right there. Put that behind the battery. And now we're going to remove the positive one. Similarly, just loosen it up a little bit. Don't undo it all the way because you might actually break the little T-bolt that's in there. Okay, at this point, everything should just be able to come off. All right, just like that. And now we have the battery ready to go. I did not show this on camera, but you want to make sure you unplug this little tube that vents the battery outside of the vehicle. Also, similarly, my battery holder, this is one of the brackets that holds the battery down, was actually already removed. Don't know who removed it or why it wasn't installed, but you want to remove this before removing the battery as well. So that's going to be on the side of the battery, on this side, just in the bottom there. It is also a 10mm socket that you will need, but it's a lot deeper, so you'll definitely need an extension. Now I'm just going to pull on the battery, just like that, and get it out. And that's it. The battery is now removed, so we can put the new one in. To help get the battery in past all of these wires, I like to kind of hang them up just like this. So I use a piece of wire. You can use some bungee cord, whatever you have on hand. Literally just wrap it around the wire and then attach it to the hinge here at the trunk or something like that. Of course, I'm doing it kind of inside out because I have the camera in the way, but if you go from this side, it'll be a little bit easier. You want to be careful of all of these wires that are surrounding here. You don't want to rip any of them because that's gonna get a lot more expensive. Okay, right, the battery is in, and as you can see, I have capped the little cap on here as well as on the negative, so I don't short anything out while I'm putting the battery inside. First thing we want to do is plug in the ventilation tube. There it is. And then push it into its spot. All right. So there's a little bit of an edge, or, well, there's basically another one of these on the other side, and it's going to go underneath. So it's going to hold it in place on that side. And then I can easily put this one on this side now. So you know how I said you can fit different size batteries in here? Well, this is why. You can put this holder into two different spots. So you can put an H8, not an H7, a slightly bigger battery if you like to. Or if you have a convertible and you know you're going to be using a lot more power, you probably want to put a bigger one anyway. So let's put this in now. And that's it. Now this battery is not going anywhere. Remove the little protective cover. Want to push it in all the way down so it goes over the terminal all the way, and tighten this up. You definitely don't want to go too tight because you will break that bolt. I have done it in the past. As you can see, it's at 50 Newton meters on that one, as well as here and the other one as well. But you want to keep it safe and not over tighten it. Now we're just going to do the negative. Okay, so you want to make sure the terminal goes at least level with the battery right here, just like that. Otherwise, it's not going to be fully installed. So now we're going to put the bracket back on. I like to put these by hand first so it doesn't fall behind the battery. It will be impossible to find it without getting the battery out again, which obviously you don't want to do. All right, and then finally we just put this back in. It goes, there's a couple of clips that goes in first, and then you push it in and close the little latch over there, and done. After physically replacing the battery, the next step is to code and register it to the car. If you're not aware, coding is when you tell the car that you have changed the capacity or the type of battery. Registering, on the other hand, is simply telling the car that the battery has been replaced and it should be charged as a new battery from now on. You can use either of these devices to get both of the jobs done, but I just wanted to try coding using this Beamer Code app and this VPeak OBD2 adapter to see if it's just as easy. After plugging in the OBD2 adapter, make sure the ignition is on and then go to the app and click Connect. All right, we're going to select 3 series because that's what this car is. Continue. It's going to spend a little bit of time identifying the control units. So first we're going to go to Car Access System. And then we're going to go to Battery. And this is still an 80 amp hour battery, but now it's going to be an AGM. So we're going to switch to 80 amp AGM. Go back. And all we have to do from now is just hit Code. It's going to tell you what coding is. Start coding. And that's it. The battery is now coded to the car. So now the car knows that this is an AGM battery. So now that we have coded the battery to be 80 amp hours AGM, we need to register it. And to register it, unfortunately, this app requires another app to be installed, BeamerLink, which is about $36. And well, I can do it with this device, so I don't want to pay extra. So what I'm going to do is just plug this device in and we're going to register the battery. On this device, all you have to really do is go to For BMW. We're going to click OK. For BMW series diagnose. 3 series. This is a E90. Special functions. And then we're going to go to battery management. Okay. And now we're going to register a battery change. So it's telling you if you have put a different capacity or anything like that, you have to code the battery first, which we have already done. And as you can see it explained here, you can do the same coding that we have done on the Beamer code using this device as well. So if we wanted to do that, we would select number 2. So there'll be higher or lower capacity, and we would enter that capacity in here. Or if we're changing from lead acid to AGM, which we have already done. So you would run it twice. You would press number 2 first, and number 3, register the higher capacity if you were going from 80 to 90, for example. And then go to 3 to switch from lead acid to AGM. In my case, I'm just doing a registration, so I'm going to click OK. And that's it. The battery has now been registered in the DME as replaced. So we're just gonna click OK and done. That's it. This is the entire process to get it done. So you could have just used this device for the entire process, but I wanted to show you that you can do it using the app on your phone as well. This device is about $120, and you can pretty much spend about the same amount of money on the app if you already have a smartphone and you prefer using that. But this is a little bit more reliable in my opinion. And now let's try starting the car for the first time. Look at that, starts on the first press of a button, I guess. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've learned something and you can now replace the battery on your own BMW 3 Series, E90 or E92. As you can see, it's not a difficult process and you will definitely save some money even if you have to buy the scanner that you might already have. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.